Have you ever pondered the immense societal changes that the Vietnam War and the 1960s brought about in the United States? This era, with its opposition to war, landmark court cases, and constitutional amendments, forever altered the nation's landscape. We begin our journey in the 1960s, a time when opposition to the Vietnam War was gaining momentum. College students, civil rights activists, and labor union members united in their protest against U.S. involvement in the war. This was not an isolated event but part of a broader movement questioning U.S. foreign policy and societal norms. As the war progressed, the Tet Offensive marked a significant turning point. This military campaign demonstrated the Viet Cong's ability to launch widespread attacks, challenging the optimistic view of the war's progress and leading to a loss of public confidence in the federal government. In the interim between the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution and the Tet Offensive, the U.S. government had increased its military presence in Vietnam significantly, marking a deepening of U.S. involvement in the conflict. This escalation did not go unchallenged, as protests against the war sprang up across the U.S. Marches, sit-ins and teach-ins reflected a widespread anti-war sentiment among Americans. Amid these events, the Supreme Court made a landmark decision in the case of Hernandez v. Texas. This ruling, based on the right to equal protection of the law, extended civil rights protections to Mexican Americans and other ethnic groups. The period also saw a series of constitutional amendments that expanded the rights of individuals to participate in the government. The 19th, 24th, and 26th Amendments extended voting rights to women, eliminated poll taxes, and lowered the voting age to 18, respectively. While the Vietnam War was unfolding, the Cold War was also in full swing. The Soviet Union's placement of nuclear weapons installations in Cuba led to a major Cold War crisis, exemplifying the nuclear brinkmanship that characterized U.S.-Soviet relations during this period. In response to energy crises and actions by OPEC, the U.S. government focused on energy conservation measures as part of a broader national energy policy. This included reducing home heating, driving speeds, and unnecessary lighting. President Nixon's inaugural address hinted at his future policy of détente, a strategy aimed at easing tensions with the Soviet Union. This policy promoted an open world, open to ideas, and the exchange of goods and people. Finally, the actions of the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, which led to reduced oil supplies and increased prices, prompted the U.S. government to further focus on energy conservation as a response to the energy crisis. In summary, the Vietnam War and the societal changes of the 1960s brought about significant shifts in U.S. foreign policy, domestic policy, and societal norms. From opposition to the Vietnam War, through landmark court rulings and constitutional amendments to the implementation of a national energy policy, this era left an indelible mark on the United States.